Hi, and welcome to another Bruce Starr show. My name is Bruce Starr. I am the host of the show, and every time I do this show, I bring very interesting and informative guests onto the show for you to meet and to learn from. And today is no different. Today I have Artie and Doris Fink from AZ Home Watch Solutions right here in Jupiter, Florida. And there are so many people living down here in Jupiter, in Palm Beach County, in Broward County, so many apartments, so many condos. And I've always wondered, what happens to those condos when the folks aren't home, when they're up north? And so that's why I wanted to have my guests on the show, because Doris and Artie, they are experts at what they do. So I would like to take this moment to introduce Doris and Artie. Welcome to the show.
Thanks Bruce, so much. We're really happy to be here.
So tell me a little bit about you. Tell me where you're from, and how does someone get into an A to Z Home Watch Solutions business?
Well, we were neighbors that used to take care of people's homes and condos, and we really were not very familiar and not very well trained in knowing what to do. So we decided that we were going to do it the proper way and get trained right and be educated so that we were able to help other people close their home, especially snowbirds or people who traveled. And that's what made us get into it, because we wanted to be the professionals in the business. And that's what we've been doing now for the last 5 years.
And speaking of where we're from, this Bostonian met this New Yorker in Florida, and together we blended a family. We've been together for 35 years. Yes, and we still talk. And this is our second time where we're actually in business together, and it's a lot of fun for us. We're very fortunate. We have the best clients in the world. We just seem to attract wonderful people, and because of it, it makes our job easier.
So tell me, what counties, because you can't cover it all, you know, Florida's a big place. What counties do you prefer to work in?
We primarily work in North Palm Beach County, and we do have clients that are extended in that area, but primarily North Palm Beach County is our expertise, and we like to be as close as we can to be able to respond as quickly as we can when any of our clients have an issue.
Okay. So what exactly are home watch solutions? What does that mean? What people out there that I have a condo, I have a home, and I've always wondered, is this right for me? Is it not right for me? Tell me what that means so that people be able to relate and say, yeah, this is something that I need for myself.
The definition basically of a home watch person is someone who does a visual inspection of a condo or a home to point out any issues that we want to prevent them from being major issues.
A to Z Home Watch Solutions is a privately held company. We created it, we named it. We could have been XYZ. We just thought that we wanted to cover all of the situations that would come up from A to Z. And we are solution oriented, so we wanted to offer people who travel, who are away from home, whether it's back-to-back cruises or seasonal residents. We have people that buy second vacation homes. We also find that there are people who end up with elderly parents down here that might be in a nursing home and then rehab, and those apartments can stay empty for a month or two. Kids are up north. It's a very wide scope. So I think that we have solutions for everybody.
So people want to, first probably thing that they think about is, well, how long have they been doing this? How can I trust someone with my property?
Well, we've been doing it now for 5 years. We decided to do it the right way rather than just be a neighbor or family member. And what we did is we joined the National Home Watch Association that covers the United States as well as Canada, and we get trained by them, and we're required to have the proper insurance as well as bonding.
The National Home Watch Association is interesting. You can't just buy a logo. So there's lots of associations where you go out, you buy your logo, and they just renew you year after year. We must be background checked every year. We need to have our liability insurance bonding. We need to prove it to them before they'll even consider it. And then we took it a step further. We're certified by them, which is a lengthy test. And actually, that's only good for 2 years, so that there's continuing education credits that you need to get. We wanted to surround ourselves with people that knew what they were doing, and we've learned a lot.
So this was something that you had to do, wanted to do. How does that work?
What we love to do is to, first of all, I know Doris is not going to tell you this, but she's also on the advisory board of the association, so she's deeply involved. More importantly, we wanted to make sure we learned the right thing in order to take care of our clients' properties.
Okay, so what else do people have to know to make a choice? Who should I trust my property with? How do I decide? Help them decide.
That's easy. That's very easy. What you need to do is interview people, because you're trusting your home and your private information with them. And so you may not love Artie and I when you meet us. You want us to come to your home. You want us to come to your home. You want us to kind of get a feeling for each other, because this is a personal thing. And then you want to make sure that whoever you hire is trained and insured, etc. What you don't want is someone who might run into a neighbor, and the neighbor says, "Oh, when is so-and-so going to be back? And did you know such and such?" Everything that we do is confidential. There's a big difference between a professional and somebody that's just kind of doing you a favor and watching your property.
What is the typical mistake that people make, the costly mistake that people make that would make it all worthwhile to actually hire a company like yours?
I have a great example. I remember the closet. Someone we know had somebody that works in their building watching their property, and she came home to a huge amount of mold. And what she found out was that it started in her master bedroom closet. And when she confronted the person, he said, "Oh, I didn't want to get personal. I didn't want to look in there." Well, one of the things that we do is the closet doors are open. We check everything. You know, leaks can come from anywhere. So that was pretty cool. And he was really innocent. He just didn't know any better.
What else? What are some of the things that make hiring you worthwhile?
Well, hiring a neighbor, or depending upon a neighbor, usually neighbors seem to be more curious than they are caring. We're the professionals, and we're the caring people. We take care of the properties as though they're our own, and that's very, very important.
And the length of time that we spend is very different. You know, imagine your friend or your daughter or cousin or whatever having the responsibility of checking your home. How long do you think they can spend there, and how consistent would their visits be? They're not, because they have lives, and this isn't something that they plan to do as a profession. So they're doing you a favor, and that's dangerous. It's also dangerous for the friendship. There are a lot of friends and family members that probably aren't speaking today because they entrusted them with their home.
So that's what separates what you do from hiring a neighbor.
They call them gutter guys in a lot of communities. I've got a guy because the gutter guys are either riding golf carts, they're handymen, they're anything but focused on home watch per se. But for them, it's extra money, because if they happen to find something, they'll have more handyman work. They're not consistent either, and that's very popular. Any place, or lots of places that we go, we hear people say, "Oh, I've got a guy." Mm-hmm. They'll start saying, "I've got a gal soon."
That sounds great. So now, I understand what separates you from the neighbor, the friend, the family member. Now, I know you guys, not for a long period of time, but for the amount of time I know you're very caring, you're very kind, you're very honest people. What separates you from other companies that are out there?
The association really separates us, and truthfully, as the association grows, they're working very hard. This is a cottage industry, and it's just growing, so they're working very hard at teaching people that this needs to be a trained profession. The other people that are out there, I'm sure there are other good people, and doing their best. But I like to think that we'll just take one step further and go out of our way for our clients just a bit more.
So, if I'm still tempted to try to save money, to try to do it with the lowest budget possible and have a neighbor or have a friend, what else can you tell me?
Well, first of all, time is our inventory, and we do spend time, so we need to get paid for our time. And obviously, I think you should think of the example of the guy that didn't open the closet because he didn't want to be nosy. That pretty much tells it all, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's, and I also will tell you that before we were trained, I have to admit that I used to watch a neighbor's house, and I would walk in the door, and if I didn't step into water up to my ankles, if the AC seemed to be running, I'd quickly flush the toilets and run the water and run out. I probably was there for maybe 7 minutes tops. That's a little scary when you own an expensive property, and damage can be permanent. It's very expensive. Your insurance may not pay for it because you may not have told your agent that that you were traveling for 6 months out of the year and you weren't there. Insurance companies deny claims for that. You need to have the proper insurance. We educate our clients about what they need to do, how to close their house, how to buy the right insurance, anything they need to know about vacant property, we can help them with.
And most important is we go in with the proper tools. How many neighbors have the right tools? How many neighbors check the temperature? Most important, the humidity. In Florida, which is a humidity state, it's important to make sure, more importantly, that the humidity is the proper percentage versus the temperature that's in the house. Because, again, if you have a high humidity situation, you're a possibility of a mold situation occurring.
So if people see this show, when they see this show, is there some sort of incentive that you can tell them about right now to call you?
Well, if they've seen the show, Artie and I talked about this, and we can offer you 1 month's free service with an annual agreement, and I think that you'll be very happy with that. What do you think?
That sounds great. I'm sold, because I really didn't know. I always wondered about all these units here in South Florida, and I know that the people don't live in them for 9, 10, 11 months. I always wondered. Now it makes a lot of sense that if they want to keep their value up, if they want to keep it safe, if they want to keep it clean and ready for them when they come to town, there's only one way to do it, and that's using you guys.
By the way, our very first client had squatters. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me on another Bruce Starr show. Artie, Doris, I learned a lot, and I appreciate you being here with us. Till next time, bye-bye, everybody.